The St. Joseph School Board is already preparing for the coming school year, and tonight's special guest for Community Conversations with Charles Christian is newly elected school board member Isaura Garcia. Charles?
Thanks, Morgan, and it's wonderful to have Isaura Garcia with us, again, newly elected school board member. Talk about that. I've heard some of this story, but tell us how you ended up running for school board.
Well, I have two kids in the district, so for me it was really important to ensure that our district is providing a safe and effective learning environment. But I was volunteering for 2 years, and I ran into somebody who had told me that there was 2 positions coming up for the school board, and upon doing some research and attending some of the board meetings, I realized it was something that I wanted to do. So I put my application in.
That's great, and it's very important to you, you say, because your children are there.
Yes.
What are some of the what's the overall feel of the board this year? I know there's some new faces on the board. Was it an experience that you felt prepared for once you got in and started sort of interacting in the meetings, and how do they prepare you for that?
Yes, so I don't think it's anything that you can be prepared for, because there's just so much information that you get. But I have a really good feeling about this board, and like you said, we're all fairly new. So I think the one thing that you should think about when you think of the board now is potential. We have a lot of potential to do great things, and I'm super excited to see what we do in the next couple of years.
Well, what are some goals that you have in regard to this, what you want to see happening in our school system?
Yes, so I really just want to ensure that our communication is being presented in a good way. I would like for the community to feel comfortable coming into our schools and talking about their concerns, because as a parent, I know sometimes I would get intimidated to go into my kids' school and kind of talk about some of the issues that I had. So really just making it a safe place for our community to be able to come in and talk to us, but also knowing that, you know, our main priority is to ensure that our kids and our teachers and staff are successful.
Great, and I'm sure that's things like financing, safety,
of course,
tenure, all those things.
Yes.
They've been in the news a lot lately, all 3 of those things,
yes.
And I'm sure that is that a big part of the discussion right now?
Of course, and I think safety is always the top priority, but especially now. And our kids should not feel scared to come to school, and their parents shouldn't be scared to drop them off. Sure. So this is something that we're going to be talking about, and I know that everyone in leadership and administration is very concerned about it, but we all are going to work together to ensure that that's something that we can secure, that is effective, and that it's working for our district, because the safety of our kids is #1.
That's great. And you talked about also, you just mentioned not being intimidated and being having opportunities to really speak up.
Yes.
You've expressed particular concern about that in regard to diversity. Folks who maybe English may not be their first language, or they may be new either to the country or to the city. What are some steps that you see the school district taking to address that?
Yes, so I think one of the first things that we can do is either find a translator or translate our board meetings, because all the parents in our community should know what we're saying, what we're talking about, and really letting them know that we understand that the community is diverse, and we want to ensure that the community is being presented with the facts, but in the language that they would prefer, because some of them, although they might speak English, it doesn't mean that they necessarily understand what a policy means, or some of these terms that we use as board members are kind of complex. So being able to translate that information for them would be my top priority.
That's great. Now, what are some projects that you are excited about as a school board member, both for the summer and for this coming school year? What are some of the things that are on your mind
right now? The biggest thing that I'm really excited about is Hilliard being expanded.
Okay.
You know, we're going to have one of the biggest trade schools in Missouri, so that is always super exciting, because, you know, not a lot of our kids want to go to college. They would rather pick up a trade and find a job that way. But for the future year coming up, I would really like to just I don't know, ensure that our kids are meeting their academic goals. You know, I think our MAP scores are going to be very much our first list on our top priorities, because we have to ensure that they're going to be able to get the quality education that they need so they can be successful adults when they get older.
Awesome. And if a parent is watching out there and saying, what steps can I take to make sure, with all the changes that have gone on and all the transitions and now getting back to some kind of normal maybe in the new school year, what could a parent do to make that happen and make that more effective for their children?
I think one of the things that really helped me and my children kind of get excited about the community or about schools is participating in our schools. Join the PTA, join a carnival event that is happening. Anything that you could really do to volunteer your time to your schools, to your kids' schools, would be amazing, because not only does that help the teachers see that you are more than just dropping the kids off, it also shows your kids that you're excited about their schools, and it's going to make them excited to be going into those doors.
Very good, very good. Well, and who would they first reach out to, do you think? A call to a school board member, a principal, a teacher? Where would that begin for most parents?
So definitely it should start at their school. So they should talk to one of their kids' teachers and ask them how they can join the PTA.
Sure.
And the teachers are, trust me, more than welcome to give them that information. They want to see our parents involved, and I know that they would be more than excited to see more parents coming back into our schools now that the pandemic hopefully is dying off.
That sounds good. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
course.
Isaura Garcia, member of the St. Joseph School District School Board. Next week we're going to have another special guest, but we do thank you for your time this week.
Thank you.
And now we're going to head over to Mark Zinn for Storm Tracker weather.